Well, hello, everybody. It's me, Leah. I am a personal development and family life coach. And what I do is to empower women to strengthen their families by helping them to free themselves of emotional bondage and repurpose their pain so that they can walk in their passion and purpose. I am so glad that you joined us today. We're actually in the middle of making preparations for our upcoming virtual event. It's a masterclass on how to set boundaries and reclaim your peace. I am so excited about the impact that this event is going to have on everyone that participates. Setting boundaries leads to emotional freedom, and that is our goal. So join us Saturday starting at 10 a.m. That's going to be Saturday, May the 29th. You don't want to miss out. Register now. Go to www.lovethehuggins.com/boundaries. That's www.lovethehuggins.com/boundaries. Now, I'm just going to jump right into it. I want to talk to you today about enabling and codependency. Enabling codependency. Now, there are two types of people that are involved in a codependent relationship. First, you have the person that's actually engaging in the harmful or self-destructive behavior. The other person is the enabler. This is the person that in some kind of way is supporting the negative behavior being displayed by the first person in our scenario. Now, usually codependency centers around cases where people are dealing with issues of substance abuse, like alcohol or drugs. A person becomes an enabler by the things that they do and don't do when it comes to dealing with the other person. There's a difference between helping and enabling them. If you helping the person makes it easier for them to continue in their destructive behavior, then you are not helping. You're actually enabling them and you're causing the problem to get worse. So, how do you know if you're an enabler? Well, do you ignore or tolerate toxic behavior? Are you buying or paying for the substances that the person is abusing, like alcohol or drugs? Do you make excuses for their destructive behavior? Do you avoid confronting the issue just to keep the peace or because you're worried about how they're going to react to you? Do you let it slide when they say something or do something that is harmful or abusive to you? Do you hold them accountable for their actions? Do you follow through on consequences like actually leaving when you say you're going to leave? How about neglecting your own needs in order to make sure that they are all right? Codependency is a learned behavior. It's about how much you let the person get away with. Now, you've heard the saying, give them a foot and they what? They take a mile. It's true. The more you allow a person to get away with behaving in a negative way towards you, the more they will continue to do it. And in most cases, the worse it will get. Dependency is a cycle. It actually starts with the person that is allowing the harmful behavior. It's a clear sign that there are no boundaries put in place. And if there are, they are not being honored. So, why would a person allow another person to continue to violate their peace and disrupt their emotional well being? It's because there's an emotional hole that's deep down that they're trying to fill. Somewhere down the line, someone's self-esteem, their self-confidence, and their self-worth have been violated and bruised. Somewhere deep down inside of a grown woman is a young girl that has been wounded and never got over her fear of abandonment or rejection. Maybe she has unprocessed emotions that stem from trauma and she hasn't been given the tools to work through them. Maybe she doesn't believe that she's worthy of love because she's never experienced the love. And this is why a father's love is so important. It's because it's the father that gives the identity and sets the precedence for all the relationships in her life. Every girl should be raised to be protected and encouraged and pushed by her father to be who she was meant to be. But somewhere down the line, this little girl was dropped and she ended up being emotionally wounded and scarred. And so as she grew up, she began looking for love in all the wrong places, looking on the outside for what can only come from the inside. And because of this, she has allowed others to mistreat her because, well, at least she has someone. At least she's not alone. At least she's important enough for someone to claim her. So she becomes dependent on this person who's verbally abusive or who's physically abusive, who's emotionally and maybe financially abusive to her. He needs her and she needs him. So this is why women stay in relationships that are abusive, because they get comfortable with what they know. They learn how to maneuver around the relationship just enough to survive. And fear of the unknown sometimes can outweigh common sense. And in their mind, they're scared to leave because they don't think they can make it without the person, because they become well acquainted with operating in dysfunction. They become used to it and it's become their new normal. So she gives her permission by the things that she allows, by the things that she tolerates, by the grief that she puts up with, by the pain that she deals with. She gives her permission for them to mistreat her, for them to walk all over her, for them to take advantage of her. She gives her permission. She is wounded, she's broken, and she's scarred. She hasn't healed from the pain of her past yet, and she hasn't come into the knowledge of who she is yet. She doesn't know what she's capable of. She doesn't know that she's full of purpose. She doesn't know her own strength. She hasn't yet realized that she is resilient and resourceful, and she doesn't realize the impact that she can make all over the world just by being who she is and just by telling her story. She doesn't realize that there are others that are waiting on her to come out just so she can bring them out, and they in turn can bring others out. She's not meant to be in this place for a long time. Why? Because she is destined for purpose. She is created for greatness and designed with a specific plan in mind. Everything she needs is already inside of her, and she's well equipped and in control. She is a survivor. She is a warrior, and she is a queen. If you are in a codependent relationship, it's time to break the cycle. You are meant for so much more. It's time to do the work and time to start building boundaries. To begin with, cut off the financial support. Don't buy supplies or give them money to support their habit. By you withholding financial support, they will have to become more self-reliant. Let them deal with their own problems and stop making excuses for them and running to their rescue. Let them deal with the consequences of their actions. Set your boundaries and stick to the set your boundaries and stick to them. Once you've gotten to your breaking point, do not go back to the way things were. Establish consequences, clearly communicate them, and stick to it. Undoing the hurt and pain of your past is a process. It takes time, but you can start right now by protecting your peace, renewing your mind, and establishing boundaries. Please be encouraged, be empowered, and be blessed. You all have a good one.